have you taken into consideration that there is also a shortage of police within within KPSM? Have you taken into consideration that we are right now in the high season, Minister, and also we are also approaching election? And then you have a number of police officers that have to deal with the traffic control with students and the traffic backup. To mitigate all of this, Minister, if you can, give some additional information to those points.
One of the things that we must realize is that this is, as I stated before, standard. We are not adding anything that is unusual or an unusual task to the police force. You have officers on duty, and I have right here in front of me the steps that are involved when dealing with a police arrestee. Yes, we have engaged or experienced since that 2011 decision was taken, cases like the Corallo case. We have lawyers that are constantly writing in the public sphere, in the media, about the unjust situation that their client is being kept in Phillipsburg more than the 10 days. So there in itself, you see that clouded space where, and I took note that the same attorney who is usually indicating that it is unjust for her client has now written an article indicating that she's not in support of this. So the division in the task is a very clouded space. But the chain must work together. And if we do not have sufficient guards to be able to man the very people that are arrested, and when the police takes them to court on day 2, so that the judge can determine whether they will be released or have to stay for the extended 8 days, that is all within the 10 days that they are in police custody. They're not in detention of the prison. And that is where it becomes clouded. It is clearly identified what the role and responsibility is when a person is in police detention or police holding. And it speaks in alignment with your shifts. Yes, but I know for a fact that KPSM is resilient. And I would also like to state, since taking office, I have graduated quite a number of police officers into KPSM. When was the last time you saw me graduate a class at Harvey Bay? The prison is truly, if you were to measure or compare the ratio, they are down quite a bit in comparison to what KPSM has resources to. And it is not balanced. Yes, I had a very wonderful meeting last evening with the correctional officers, where they really expressed their gratitude for this because they are not great in numbers, but they are dedicated. But it is really a dire situation, and the few that is going to come up now from being here at the police station that's coming to the prison in Point Blanche and will be shared with MLC makes a difference for them, because though they are short in numbers, they are pulling through for the interests of the safety, the security, and the service of the clientele in these facilities. It cannot be that they are not recognized as being just as valuable as our police officers. And this is why in my statement, I asked for my police officers to take into consideration their colleagues' plight in asking to please work with them. This is how KPSM can contribute to the shortage that is greater for the prison in comparison to them. And I am not minister alone. I am not the only one that is a part of this ministry. It's going to take us all collectively. So when you make mentions, if I am taking in account that, St. Martin Day is here, the holidays are here, election is here, oaths were taken. We all took oaths to be able to serve this country in the capacity that we hold. So it is expected that despite everyone may not be in agreement with what needed to have been done, we will respect it and we will work together in unison. I hope I was able to cover the wide array of questions asked.
When will the legislation that will repair the issue of the 60-plus vendors, taxi, and coverage? This goes back to the same SZV 1B that is currently at the Council of Advice, and the status at the Council of Advice says it's in review. So once it is brought back, we will do the NADA report. Once the NADA report is done, we will go to the Council of Ministers. Once approved, then we bring it to Parliament and hopefully to have Parliament's blessing. Is it the plan to approve 1B before GHI SAHA? Yes, it is. Given the circumstance, it is prudent to have 1B approved before the SAHA. How does the financial paragraph of the draft law look? In a detailed annex was provided to the members of Parliament and attached to the packet. How, in the new system, can it be guaranteed that funds such as AVBZ continue to exist in whatever form? AVBZ is merged into SAHA. Coverage and premiums are included into SAHA ordinance. By merging several funds, more solidarity and risk pooling is created, both added to improvement in the financial sustainability. The current financial status of the funds will not remain the same in the future. Treatment options and care need change over time. Has any consideration been given to include coverage for addiction? Yes, it is included. I move to the question of MP Pontiflet. How will the solidarity premium work? Please explain. The solidarity premium compensates SAHA for its investment in its availability of healthcare infrastructure, which is also available for privately insured persons, as well as premiums for long care beyond 90 days, AVBZ, which is not covered by private insurance. The solidarity premium is a yearly premium, which is a fixed amount per person. It is not related to salary, income, nor premium to be paid by private insurer. MP Pontiflet, is the 400 million, explain the 400 million owed to SZV. The 400 million is an accumulated deficit, negative reserves of public health funds, ZV, OV, and FZA. Accumulative deficit. MP Helaga Martin, how can the government guarantee the sustainability of the healthcare funds? A clear, detailed annex was provided and to the members of Parliament that shows the financial sustainability. What exactly is the holdup with the said? We are awaiting finalization of board members. What is the one-time opt-out? What are the financial ramifications? The opt-out option is a solidarity premium that is paid yearly, a fixed amount per person. The employer does not have to pay on the employer part. So the opt-out is for persons that do not want to remain under the SAHA and choose to go back to their private insurance. However, you'll be required to pay a solidarity fee. The solidarity fee is matched and compared to what you are currently paying, which is your AVBZ, which I have stated is not currently covered by private insurance, so they are paying it at the moment anyway. What is the Department of Labor doing to combat issues of business not being SFA and tax compliant? How does the communication go? Well, the Department of Labor Affairs can only act once a complaint is brought forward. As far as SZV, collection projects have been commenced, and Control and Inspection Department is designated to zoom in on defaults. MP Angelique Rumo. Starting with understanding the foundation of SAHA, can you provide a brief overview on the main drivers behind its creation? The main drivers are the unsustainable financial situation, the ordeal for persons who have no access to health insurance, lack of solidarity and risk pooling, unequal access to health care are the main drivers. How does SAHA plan to address and recover the deficit, especially with the increased cost of care? A detail was provided in Annex 1 that shows all the financial figures. The reason that I'm saying that it's provided, it is very, very detailed with all the finances. So it is provided Annex 1. Okay. Who specifically will be added under the SAHA? Well, sole proprietors for one. The taxi drivers that we speak about, the bus drivers that we speak about, they will be able to now be insured. Privately insured persons, if they do not opt out. Also, co-insured persons will not be added, but it will be an individual premium base. The criteria for eligibility, in which you asked, through you, Mr. Chair, which your MP asked, all persons registered in civil registry and living on St. Martin, irrespective of their nationality, will qualify. Undocumented persons who pay wage tax for at least 20 hours per week. With the opt-out, won't we see a decrease in the pool of premium payers? Agree. Indeed, opting out affects solidarity and sustainability of the fund. To compensate for the effects of sustainability, persons who opt out will pay a solidarity premium, as stated.
At RBC, we know the roles you have to play can change quickly. Whether it's a homeowner, a new parent, today's head chef, or the family chauffeur. Whatever life asks you to be. RBC is a bank for all of you. Win Christmas cash with a no-fee loan from RBC.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social health insurances.
So when you collect all of this data, what do you do with it in the meantime?
Yes, very good question. So once we have collected all the data, what it will show us is, first of all, where we stand. Where we stand in terms of these diseases, so diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, cancers. If we are, in comparison to other countries again, doing worse or better, what we can also say is that what are the biggest issues on the island. So we have a good idea if we look at the other data that is already available, where the problems might lie. But it's good to have an exact idea. What is the level of physical inactivity? What is the level of salt consumption in the country? Because if we have those figures, we can know exactly, as government, where we should focus our energy and our resources in terms of developing our policies and programs for the coming years. So it's kind of without data, we don't know exactly where to prioritize going forward. What kind of healthcare programs should we develop? We have to develop many, but where to start? And this survey, the results will give us the answer to where we need to start and focus on first. And also what the data will show us, if we have the data now, it will give us a baseline when we do the survey again in 5 years' time. And we have rolled out several health prevention programs in the meantime, we're able to see if they were successful or not. So it's really to monitor trends and success of our healthcare programs.
Now, when you appear to someone home and you do a test, most people don't go to the doctor when they get really sick, bad, and then they want to run to a doctor. What about when you do your test and you find out that that person is not that probably very ill, but he doesn't look to take care of himself and all? Would you be giving that advice there to that person at the same time after you see what the results are?
Yeah. So for the blood test, we have our registered nurses. Of course, they are trained to give certain advice to people about their health. Although that's not their primary job for this survey. Also, the interviewers, they are trained to take simple measurements of the blood pressure, height, and weight, and so on. But they're not qualified to give medical advice. So what we recommend, participants get a form, and on the form it clearly indicates all the results of their test, but also if it is abnormal or not. So whether they should be worried, maybe it will clearly say that they have, for example, elevated levels of cholesterol, and the interviewer or nurse will tell them, please take this form to your house doctor or another professional to get maybe follow-up testing done and more medical advice on your personal condition. Really, it's a free health screening for people, and the results will be immediately available on the spot. You don't have to wait for it, and you can take that to your medical professional for further advice. So we have to reach a minimum number of people with this survey, because only then we can say that it's a good representation of the whole population of St. Maarten. And for that, we need 2,500 interviews. So we're now on a third, I would say. So we're still, we're not done yet. The survey effectively started in August, and we're expecting that we will run until March 2024. It's we're going to take longer than expected. We had a little bit of delays in the beginning due to international shipping delays, and October hasn't been the great month with the greatest with all the rain, and some areas are flooded. It's really hard to access certain areas for the interviewers. So we've had 2 good months, and we're now on a third. So we expect that yes, by March we should be finished. So 2,500 interviews and blood tests is what we need, and we're really trying to get to that number, because only then will we be able to say this paints a good picture of the country, and only then we will be able to compare our data really to other countries. So we're really pushing really hard. The interviewers are out there every day, working really hard. Like I said, they depend a little bit on the weather, of course, and other issues. But what they mostly depend on is people's willingness to participate. And the thing is, the survey is done anonymously. So we have selected this certain number of addresses, but we don't know beforehand who lives at that address, because we don't have names, we don't have phone numbers. So the interviewers just knock on people's doors. They are wearing a dark blue t-shirt with the STEPS logo on it. And yes, we are kindly asking everyone, of course, to participate, because we can't interview your neighbor. That's the thing. The issue is that because it's a random selection of addresses, we need to interview those addresses. We can't just interview someone else. So yeah, we really have to. We're really hoping for people's participation, and like I said, it's anonymous, so we are not going to ask for any identification or anything. You will be asked for, if you want, you can provide your name and phone number. It's mostly for the nurse who will then come for a blood test to be able to find you. But you can give, your initials or whatever. We don't care. So it's of course voluntary for people also, because they can say yes or no. They can say yes or no to the blood test. If you don't want to do the blood test, you can still do the rest. You can still do the interview and the other measurements. And the data will be held confidentially, of course. So it will all be stored in a server, so nowhere locally, because the survey is done with a tablet. So the data is not written on paper anywhere. It's only entered directly in the tablet. Once the interview is complete, the interviewers are also not able to see the data anymore. It's locked. And then it goes straight to the cloud, so to the server. And this is a protected server. So only myself and one other colleague, we have the password for that. And we are the main coordinators, obviously, of the survey. And we're also gonna do the data analysis and all further follow-up. So it's a very limited group of people who can access the data. And of course, the data will not have any names or phone numbers. Because, like I said, it's going to be anonymous, and the names will nowhere be in any report of any kind.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance is.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurance is.
At RBC, we know the roles you have to play can change quickly. Whether it's a homeowner, a new parent, today's head chef, or the family chauffeur. Whatever life asks you to be. RBC is a bank for all of you. Win Christmas cash with a no-fee loan from RBC.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to keep in mind to help keep you and your family safe. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, with the peak occurring between mid-August and late October. This hurricane season, be sure to put together a go bag. A disaster supply kit including a flashlight, batteries, cash, first aid and supplies, medications, and copies of your critical information if you need to evacuate. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
Today we are going to have a wonderful time. This is our pre-St. Martin Day school parade and program. This is an idea that started from since 2010 by the former head of DPE. So we are here to enjoy ourselves and also to shout and cheer for everyone, regardless to what school we are from. Looking around here in the auditorium, I really believe we are going to have a wonderful time from all the presentations that are being prepared for us. In all the planning for this today, we have had cooperation from many persons. The Council of Ministers, their cabinets, the parents, the school managers, the organizing school, which is Marie Genevieve, the Weaver School, and our talented students who are all geared up to treat us with their presentations. In closing, I want to wish us a wonderful program this morning, and as we go on the parade, do we have a very safe parade. God bless us.